Hi, it's Carol Billing from the University of Idaho, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about creating lesson plans and introduce a tool that I use with my students called Common Curriculum. And I'm sorry if you hear the fan on my laptop in the background. It randomly turns on and off. I can't control it, and it's trying to die, so I'm trying to get it to die before school starts so I can not have the computer die the first week of classes. Okay. So here's the website, commoncurriculum.com. I will give it to you in the links. And you can go in, you can have a free account. It has a few less bells and whistles. You don't have this unit timeline with the free account. The paid account is $7 a month, I think. So I think it's worth it. And I'll explain why. But unit timeline lets you take your unit idea, like this is what I'm going to cover in these weeks, and you can add more information down here. She just didn't on this one, but I like this one because you can see, you can give it colors, and you can sort of plan out your semester or your year and see where you're going. Here's another one. This one doesn't have color. Let me see if she put more information. Yeah, so she put more information in her unit plan. So the standard is a searchable database. So you would go in here to add, I'm sorry, there's not a button there. When it's your account, you'll have a button there to add a standard. And you can click to Idaho Standards, CTE, and then you can go to your specific CTE course. And if it's not, if the standards for your subject aren't in there, you can submit them you can add them in and submit them, and then they will be there from that point forward. I do have a lot of the standards already entered in the database for this company for Common Curriculum. So Common Curriculum is nationwide. It's not just Idaho. It's worldwide. It's a teacher who needed a tool like this, and so he created it. That's kind of how it came about. But okay. So first of all, you can create your units, which I think are really helpful. And then here up in your lessons, you can create lesson plans. And I think I had a different one showing. This is one I thought was pretty good. Each one of these areas are called a card. And you can copy a card, or these aren't all the features. It's not my book, so I don't have all the features in here. You can copy a card. Like if you were going to do the same standards on a set of days, you only have to create the card once. You can copy it for each day. Your objectives card, then you would type that in. Your pre-work, work you were going to have them do ahead of time. Your actual procedures for your lesson. And the outcomes are how you measure what students have done. So you don't... Outcome is your objectives. This is what I hope I'm going to teach, right? This is what I'm planning to teach. And your outcomes is how the students are going to demonstrate that they've learned what you thought you were teaching. Below that, there's the assessments for this lesson are listed. You can attach documents. Excuse me, documents. It's really handy. And then you have materials, and here's where you can type in your thoughts after classes ended. So that can be really helpful. So from one semester or 1 year to the next, you can copy the entire book, right? So let me show you my book. It's going to be college, for teaching college, but it will show you how you can have multiple classes in there. So okay, we can take a look at this semester I just finished teaching. And so in the summer, you do 2 weeks for every 1 week in college. So that's why I have week 13 and week 14 here together. And that's one class, CTE 430. And this is one class right here, 464. But as you look through, you can copy the entire lesson right here. That copies the whole lesson. You can do all these different features. You can share the lesson with somebody. But what I do is I open up 2 screens at the beginning of the school year, and I go through and I copy the entire lesson. And I start with week 1, and in teaching college I teach 1 lesson a week, and the whole lesson is in here. I copy it, and then I paste it into my next plan book. So I review it each time. So my point in telling you that is when you come down here to the, sorry, my lessons are long and detailed. When you come down here to the reflections, I can look in my notes when I go to copy it to the next semester, and I can see what worked or what didn't work. And the other thing is that if I'm teaching and I'm a few weeks down the road, but I remember, oh, I want to add something about awards programs, I can come back in here and add it to this plan book, and then when I copy it the next time I teach it, it's already in there. It's already updated. So even though I've already gone past week 11 for like the current semester, I can still be updating lessons for the next time I'm going to teach them. So this is what it looks like for a week view. And this is a day view. This is, typically what you work in when you're in, especially students. So my students are future teachers, future CTE teachers, and so they come in and they can sort of see the back end or the behind the scenes, as well as then I don't teach live in class, I teach online, so this is like coming to class. But they see both sides. They see how I construct the lesson, and then when you come down here to procedures, there's a lecture there that's very similar to what the lecture I'm doing now, actually. And I embed other things that I think will help them learn reading or videos, or I have them go to a website and look at a presentation. And so everything for the lesson is very clear. What are they supposed to do? Read the chapter, take the quiz, do this assignment that's in Blackboard, which is our MLS. So I hope that helps. This course materials, this is a card that I copy and place on every lesson, so you never have to wonder where to go. Those links are always right there. Okay, so that's how I would recommend doing lesson plans. If you don't have Schoolology in your school district or some other online program that the principal is requesting that you use, I would use Common Curriculum, because you can send the lesson to anyone, a parent, student, whatever. You can let parents see your plan book if they have questions about what you're teaching. It's all in there. I think it depends on the type of parents you have, whether or not you want to be that transparent. But if you have a student who's missing, you can just send them the lesson from your lesson plan for that from that day, or you could just send them the procedures, or I don't know, maybe just the assignments. So I have a handout here that I'm going to give you, and this handout, sorry, let's go to the top, is more details about how to create a lesson plan. And so it gives you, these are all the components or the cards that I put in my Common Curriculum lesson plan that I just showed you. And then below here, I go through each one and we talk about it. So number 1 is pre-work, and then if you come down here, I have a little bit about how people learn. And then number 1, pre-work, and then here I describe this is what you put in your pre-work. Here's a video on a flipped classroom. Then here's a little bit about standards, and 3 is objectives. And so I just give you a little information on how to write each section that's in your lesson plan. And then right here, I should do this in a different color or something, but this is the example, right? For the first 3, objectives, outcomes, and assignments, I've given you a sample right here. And then this jumps back into explaining each section. Okay, so hopefully that'll be helpful, and I'll link that PDF in the list of links that I'm going to give you. The other 2 things that I've been given are lesson plan templates in Word. And some people love to do their lessons in Word. Honestly, it's whatever system works for you. So in looking at both, I tend to like this one better because to me visually it's more, I can navigate it more quickly. This has the same font and I have to really actually read each word, whereas over here I can kind of look at keywords. This is Students will be able to is what that acronym stands for. Students will be able to. And then you're going to list what will the students be able to do. So your objectives. Materials, introduction or activator, class activity. So this is your procedures. Include anticipated time. Closing activity like a exit slip. And an exit slip is sometimes just a slip of paper where you ask them a question about the lesson. What did they find interesting? What did they find challenging? What questions do they still have? That kind of thing. How you're going to assess the students have learned what you were trying to teach. Accommodations. And accommodations, you might have some that you are like boilerplate. Some extended time as needed on tests, or visual notes available, lecture notes available for students needing it. And then here's where you give your thoughts after the lesson is taught, or how you want to teach it differently. So I have links to both of these formats also for you. So this says some kind of nuts and bolts up here. And then down here is you are going more into the presentation or the procedures, how you're going to actually teach. And that's it on that. So either one of these are certainly acceptable, and they will all work. These are the best options I have seen for developing curriculum. So I hope that's helpful. There's lots of tutorials on Common Curriculum on YouTube, if you decide you want to use that. And they also have the help. They have that's Search Your Lessons. Sorry. That's searching for your own lessons. Oh, right here. In this question mark. My computer's really slow. But it pulls up a bunch of tutorials. He's very much a visual learner, the guy who created the website and runs the business. And he has a lot of videos to walk you through how to do things in the platform. So I've probably been using Common Curriculum about 3 or 4 years now. So I love it. It takes my prep time way down. And I feel like every time I'm teaching, I'm making my lessons a little bit more robust. All right, I hope you're doing well, and that's all I have for you on lesson planning today.